In Hawaii, true wealth isn't measured by oceanfront mansions. It is measured by the land itself and the historical legacy attached to its volcanic soil. While tourists flock to luxury resorts, a secretive elite of female billionaires, tech matriarchs, and royal heirs quietly control the destiny of the islands. These women dictate the future of paradise. Welcome to the invisible empires of the Pacific. Number 10. Julia Roberts, the Kauai real estate flipper. When we think of Hollywood royalty in Hawaii, the mind naturally drifts to glamorous vacations, North Shore surfing, and paparazzi-filled beaches. However, for a select tier of ultra-wealthy actresses, the Hawaiian Islands are not merely a vacation destination. They are a high-yield real estate portfolio. Julia Roberts perfectly encapsulates this strategy. With an estimated net worth hovering around $250 million, the Academy Award-winning actress has utilized the pristine, highly restricted real estate market of Kauai to park and multiply her massive earnings. For years, Roberts owned the historic Faye Estate on Honolulu Bay, a sprawling 2-acre oceanfront property boasting over 200 feet of exclusive beach frontage. In a market where supply is strictly limited by both geography and aggressive zoning laws, prime oceanfront land operates like blue-chip art. It only appreciates over time, regardless of broader market fluctuations. Roberts recognized this economic reality early on. She originally listed the Faye Estate for nearly $30 million. While the final sale price in 2016 was approximately $16 million, the transaction was part of a broader consolidation of land on Kauai by tech billionaires, most notably Mark Zuckerberg. But her financial maneuvers in Hawaii go far beyond a single transaction. She has consistently invested in the island of Kauai, a place that has become the ultimate sanctuary for the global elite who wish to escape the hypervisibility of Los Angeles and New York. For Roberts, the appeal of Kauai is its absolute isolation, enforced by the island's unique coconut tree law, which dictates that no building can be taller than a palm tree. This strict building code prevents the development of towering condominiums, ensuring that large private estates retain their astronomical value and aesthetic purity. Her financial footprint in the region highlights a broader trend among Hollywood's richest women: the transition from earning millions at the box office to protecting those millions in the volcanic soil of the Pacific. By engaging in high-stakes land flipping and strategic acquisitions, Julia Roberts has actively shaped the hyper-inflated luxury housing market of Hawaii's most pristine island. She leverages her celebrity capital into tangible, appreciating assets that are fiercely guarded by both legal trusts and the natural barriers of the Nepali coast. Roberts isn't just a resident. She is a sophisticated player in the island's stealth wealth economy, where the goal is to own what can never be reproduced. Number 9. Kathy Ireland, the licensing queen of the Pacific. While the public remembers Kathy Ireland as a legendary supermodel, the global financial sector recognizes her as a ruthless, brilliant licensing mogul who has amassed an estimated net worth of $500 million. Her company, Kathy Ireland Worldwide, generates billions in annual retail sales by utilizing a business model based on intellectual property rather than physical inventory. She has successfully applied this Level 10 licensing strategy to the Hawaiian hospitality and luxury wedding industry, a sector with massive profit margins and high barrier to entry requirements. Hawaii is the undisputed wedding capital of the Pacific, a multi-billion-dollar economic engine fueled by wealthy couples seeking the ultimate tropical aesthetic. Kathy Ireland recognized that the true value of the islands isn't just the land itself, but the idea of the land, the fantasy of an island paradise. She launched Oasis, a series of highly exclusive, branded destination properties and design services that cater to high-net-worth individuals. By effectively turning the romance of the Hawaiian Islands into a highly scalable corporate product, she has created a revenue stream that requires minimal capital expenditure compared to traditional hotel ownership. What makes Ireland's wealth architecture so fascinating is her reliance on the halo effect of her brand. She doesn't need to physically build a massive new hotel from the ground up or navigate the nightmare of Hawaiian construction permits. Instead, she partners with existing luxury properties, infusing them with her brand's design aesthetics, furniture lines, and marketing power in exchange for a significant percentage of the gross revenue. This allows her to capitalize on Hawaii's high-spending tourist sector without the risks associated with property management and maintenance in a corrosive, tropical environment. Furthermore, her influence extends into the bridalwear and jewelry markets, both of which are central to the Hawaii destination wedding economy. By controlling the aesthetic of the Hawaiian wedding, she has created a vertical monopoly that touches everything from the ring on the bride's finger to the furniture in the resort suite. Her influence in Hawaii is a masterclass in modern corporate synergy. She has cemented herself as one of the quietest, yet most financially dominant women operating within the Hawaiian luxury economy, proving that in the modern era, owning the brand is often more profitable than owning the building. Number 8. Oprah Winfrey, the Maui matriarch and agricultural titan. With a net worth currently at $3 billion, Oprah Winfrey has transcended the realm of media and entered the territory of feudal land ownership. Her financial presence in Hawaii, specifically on the island of Maui, is staggering in both its scale and its long-term strategic value. Oprah is not just a wealthy homeowner in a gated community, she is one of the largest private landowners on the island, controlling an estimated 2,000 acres of prime, high-altitude real estate in Kula, along the fertile slopes of the Haleakala volcano. Her acquisition strategy was methodical and aggressive, spanning several decades. In 2023 alone, she expanded her empire by purchasing an additional 873 acres for roughly $6.6 million. Instead of simply buying beachfront mansions that are vulnerable to rising sea levels and public beach access laws, Oprah has focused on the upcountry region. This land is cooler, more private, and possesses significant agricultural potential. Her estate effectively functions as a massive, uninterrupted private fiefdom, shielded by miles of open land and a heavily guarded private road that she maintains at her own expense. This land banking strategy serves as an immense store of wealth, completely insulated from the volatility of the stock market or the fluctuations of the dollar. In a state where land is the most finite resource, owning thousands of contiguous acres provides a level of power that exceeds political office. However, her massive land holdings have not come without intense public scrutiny. During the devastating Maui wildfires of 2023, the concentration of Hawaiian land in the hands of mainland billionaires became a flashpoint for local resentment. While Oprah launched the People's Fund of Maui and provided significant direct aid to the community, the situation highlighted the profound economic disparity on the island. Oprah effectively operates as a one-woman economic ecosystem. She employs a large local staff, funds organic farming initiatives, and holds the power to dictate the development, or lack thereof, of massive tracts of the island's interior. In the hierarchy of Hawaiian wealth, Oprah represents the transition from mere celebrity to institutional power. She wields a real estate portfolio so vast that it literally alters the maps of Maui, ensuring that she remains the dominant matriarch of the Valley Isle for generations to come. Number 7. Pamela Omidyar, the stealth tech billionaire of Honolulu. If you want to find the true epicenter of modern liquid wealth in Hawaii, you must look beyond the celebrity vacation homes and focus on the quiet, hyper-secure estates of Honolulu. Here, you will find Pamela Omidyar, who, alongside her husband Pierre Omidyar, the billionaire founder of eBay, commands a combined net worth exceeding $6 billion. Unlike the part-time residents of the tech world, the Omidyars are widely recognized as the wealthiest full-time residents of the state, having made Hawaii their primary base of operations for decades. But Pamela's power does not lie in flashy displays of wealth or the acquisition of trophy assets. Instead, it lies in her systematic, deeply funded effort to re-engineer the Hawaiian economy through impact investing. Pamela is the driving force behind a massive philanthropic and investment apparatus that touches almost every aspect of local Hawaiian life. Through the Omidyar Network and their Hawaii-specific investment firm, the Ulupono Initiative, she directs hundreds of millions of dollars into local agriculture, renewable energy projects, and waste-to-energy systems. In a state that historically imports roughly 90% of its food and relies heavily on imported petroleum for electricity, controlling the capital that funds local sustainability is akin to holding the keys to the state's future survival. The Ulupono Initiative isn't just a charity, it is a strategic investment firm that aims to make Hawaii self-sufficient. By funding large-scale dairy farms, solar arrays, and sustainable fisheries, Pamela Omidyar is building a circular economy that she and her family essentially oversee. Furthermore, Pamela recognized early on that true power in a democratic society requires controlling the flow of information. She and her husband heavily fund local journalism, most notably establishing Honolulu Civil Beat, a highly influential investigative news organization. In a small island community where local politics can be insular, having a well-funded investigative arm provides the Omidyars with significant soft power. While other billionaires buy Hawaiian land to hide from the world, Pamela Omidyar has used her astronomical wealth to weave herself into the political and social fabric of the islands. She is actively financing Hawaii's structural evolution, proving that the most powerful women in the state are the ones writing the checks that keep the local government and infrastructure functioning. Number 6. Lynn Benioff, the Big Island benefactor. The modern colonization of Hawaii isn't being executed by foreign governments or military forces. It is being executed by the titans of Silicon Valley who view the islands as a remote, high-tech utopia. Standing at the forefront of this digital age land grab is Lynn Benioff. As the wife of Salesforce co-founder and CEO Mark Benioff, Lynn shares a fortune that currently fluctuates around $8 to $10 billion. Together, they have aggressively acquired massive swaths of the Big Island, transforming themselves from tech royalty into modern-day Hawaiian land barons. Most of their holdings are concentrated in the ranching community of Waimea and the exclusive coastal enclaves of the Kohala Coast. Lynn's strategy in Hawaii is a complex blend of massive real estate acquisition and overwhelming, undeniable philanthropy. This is often referred to as philanthrocapitalism. The Benioffs have effectively purchased their way into the good graces of the local infrastructure by filling the gaps left by the state government. They have donated over $100 million to Hawaiian hospitals, including the Hilo Medical Center and North Hawaii Community Hospital, essentially single-handedly funding the modernization of healthcare on the Big Island. When a billionaire personally funds the medical facilities and emergency rooms that an entire community relies upon, they cease to be just a wealthy resident. They become an indispensable pillar of the local government. This level of giving creates a shield of public goodwill that allows them to continue acquiring vast amounts of land with less local resistance than their peers. To date, the Benioffs have bought hundreds of acres of pristine Hawaiian land, often citing a desire to protect it from commercial development and preserve it for future generations. However, this has sparked intense debate about the ethics of tech feudalism, a system where ultra-wealthy mainlanders buy up finite island resources, pricing out multi-generational Hawaiian families under the guise of environmental conservation and philanthropy. Lynn Benioff wields her billions with a soft, philanthropic touch, but her financial dominance over the Big Island's infrastructure is absolute. She is part of a new breed of tech matriarchs who view Hawaii not just as a place to live, but as a privately funded social experiment where the rules of the mainland no longer apply. Number 5. Blair Perry Oakeden, the hidden Cox heiress. To understand the deepest layers of Hawaiian wealth, we must look at the fortunes that were born on the islands, even if the women who hold them eventually moved away. Blair Perry Oakeden is a phantom billionaire in the truest sense. With an astonishing net worth of over $9 billion, she frequently tops the Forbes list as one of the richest people in the world. But her colossal wealth and her foundational years are entirely rooted in the tropical soils of Honolulu. Blair is the granddaughter of James M. Cox, the founder of the massive media conglomerate Cox Enterprises, which includes Cox Communications and Cox Automotive. She grew up in the highest echelons of Honolulu's ultra-elite society, attending the most exclusive private schools like Punahou and living a life shielded by immense generational wealth. In 2007, upon the death of her mother, Barbara Cox Anthony, who was officially the richest woman in Hawaii at the time, Blair inherited a massive 25% stake in the global media empire. Although she now resides quietly on a farm in Australia, Blair represents the invisible international tentacles of Hawaiian-based wealth. For decades, the Cox family managed their global empire from the quiet shores of Oahu, proving that you don't need to be in a traditional financial hub like Manhattan to control the American media landscape. Blair's $9 billion fortune is a direct continuation of that legacy. She is the ultimate embodiment of stealth wealth. Despite having enough liquid capital to buy entire islands, she has successfully avoided the paparazzi, the tabloids, and the public eye for her entire adult life. She manages a fortune that eclipses Hollywood actors and tech founders alike. Yet she remains a mystery to the general public. Her story is a vital reminder that the most significant fortunes connected to Hawaii are often the ones you never see coming. She is a reminder that the islands have long been a base for global corporate dominance, predating the arrival of the modern tech billionaires by nearly a century. Her wealth is old money, in a state that is increasingly dominated by new tech, providing a stabilizing, if invisible, force in the local economy. Number 4. Priscilla Chan, the Kauai Doomsday Builder. We have now entered the realm of wealth so vast, it borders on the incomprehensible. Priscilla Chan, alongside her husband Mark Zuckerberg, commands a shared family fortune that has surged past $200 billion in 2026. And they have chosen the remote, lush island of Kauai to build what is arguably the most extreme, highly classified, and heavily fortified residential compound on planet Earth. This isn't just a home, it's a statement of absolute, uncompromising control over the physical environment. Known as Ko'olau Ranch, this staggering 1,400-acre estate is not a vacation home. It is an apocalyptic fortress designed for long-term survival. Valued at over $270 million in construction costs alone, the compound features a massive 5,000-square-foot underground bunker. This subterranean lair is equipped with blast-resistant doors filled with concrete, independent energy grids, and self-sustaining food and water supplies. Priscilla Chan is the co-founder of the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, one of the world's largest philanthropic organizations, but her footprint in Kauai tells a darker story of extreme survivalism. To secure this massive tract of land, the couple utilized complex legal maneuvers, including highly controversial quiet title lawsuits. These lawsuits were used to compel local Hawaiian families to sell their small ancestral plots, known as kuleana lands, located within the ranch's borders. These plots were often passed down through generations without formal deeds, making them vulnerable to legal challenges from a multi-billion-dollar legal team. The backlash was immense, leading to a public relations nightmare that Chan and Zuckerberg have spent years trying to repair through local donations. Furthermore, the entire construction site is governed by ironclad non-disclosure agreements. Workers who speak about the compound's features are immediately terminated or faced with litigation. Priscilla Chan's wealth operates on a scale that overrides local resistance and traditional property laws. She is building a self-contained world, completely insulated from global collapse, climate change, or political instability. In the modern era, true, unlimited wealth is the ability to buy an entire mountain on a remote Pacific island and hollow it out for your own protection. Priscilla Chan doesn't just own real estate in Hawaii. She owns a hyper-secure post-apocalyptic future that is inaccessible to the rest of the world. Number 3. Barbara Cox Anthony, the former reigning queen. Before the Silicon Valley billionaires arrived with their underground bunkers and private security details, the undisputed queen of Hawaiian wealth was Barbara Cox Anthony. Until her passing in 2007, she consistently held the title of the richest woman in Hawaii, wielding an estimated personal net worth of over $12 billion. As the matriarch of Cox Enterprises, she controlled one of the largest broadband, automotive, and media conglomerates in the world. And she did it all from the quiet, sun-drenched neighborhoods of Honolulu. Barbara was the definition of old money power in the Pacific. She didn't seek the spotlight, she owned the spotlight. While her company controlled massive television and radio networks across the United States, she spent her days on the islands, quietly engaging in highly strategic philanthropy. She famously founded La Pietra, Hawaii School for Girls, located on the slopes of Diamond Head. By doing so, she cemented her influence over the education and social grooming of Hawaii's next generation of female leaders, ensuring that her values would persist in the local elite. Her immense financial power was matched only by her intense desire for privacy. She lived a life of staggering luxury, completely insulated from the frantic energy of corporate America. She proved that Hawaii could be more than just a place to retire. It could be the silent headquarters for global corporate dominance. Her presence in Honolulu attracted other high-net-worth individuals, creating a wealth cluster that persists to this day. When she passed away, her massive fortune was distributed among her heirs, including her daughter Blair Perry Okiden, fracturing a concentrated empire that had dominated the local Forbes list for decades. Barbara Cox Anthony remains a legend in the Hawaiian financial sector, the ultimate benchmark of media wealth who ruled the islands with a quiet, billion-dollar iron fist. She represented a time when Hawaiian wealth was synonymous with national media influence, long before the islands became a refuge for social media moguls and AI investors. Her legacy is the blueprint for how to hold immense power without ever becoming a tabloid fixture. Number 2. Princess Ruth Ke'elikolani, the Royal Land Defender. To understand the absolute peak of Hawaiian wealth, we must abandon modern concepts of stock options, venture capital, and digital assets. In Hawaii, the only true lasting currency is land. And no woman in the 19th century, or perhaps any century since, possessed more of it than Princess Ruth Ke'elikolani. As a direct descendant of King Kamehameha the Great, she stood as the fiercest defender of traditional Hawaiian culture and, at the time of her death in 1883, was the wealthiest woman in the entire kingdom. Princess Ruth's wealth was astronomical, comprising over 353,000 acres of prime Hawaiian real estate. She owned nearly 9% of the entire Hawaiian archipelago. To put that into perspective, if a single individual owned 9% of California today, their wealth would be incalculable, and their political power would be absolute. She controlled entire valleys, massive stretches of coastline, and deeply fertile agricultural plains that provided the resources for the entire kingdom. What made Princess Ruth so powerful was her absolute refusal to bend to Western influence or the encroaching American business interests. Despite her immense wealth and the fact that she was surrounded by advisors who spoke English, she refused to use the language, viewing it as the tongue of the colonizers. She built a massive European-style palace in Honolulu, yet chose to live in a traditional Hawaiian grass hut on the palace grounds, a brilliant, defiant display of indigenous sovereignty and a rejection of Western luxury. Her wealth was not a product of corporate exploitation or market speculation. It was her birthright as the anchor of the Kamehameha dynasty. She used her immense land holdings to protect her people and their heritage from the rapidly encroaching forces of American imperialism and the Sugar Kings, who sought to dismantle the monarchy. In the history of the islands, she represents a scale of terrestrial wealth that no modern billionaire could ever hope to replicate. She didn't just own land, she was the land, embodying the spiritual and economic power of the Hawaiian people. When she died, her estate was so vast that it became the foundation for the richest private trust in the world. Number 1. Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop, the Immortal Estate. We have reached the absolute summit of Hawaiian wealth. The richest woman in the history of Hawaii is not a living tech CEO, nor a Hollywood actress, nor a media heiress. It is Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop. When Princess Ruth Ke'elikolani passed away, she left her colossal land empire to her cousin, Princess Pauahi. As the last direct royal descendant of the Kamehameha line, Pauahi recognized that the Hawaiian people were facing a crisis of cultural and demographic extinction due to disease and foreign displacement. Before her death in 1884, she executed a masterstroke of financial and legal genius that remains unparalleled in the history of global philanthropy. She placed her entire estate into an unbreakable trust. That trust created Kamehameha Schools, an institution dedicated to educating children of Hawaiian ancestry in perpetuity. Today, the Bernice Pauahi Bishop Estate is a financial leviathan. It is the largest private landowner in the state of Hawaii, possessing an endowment valued at over $15 billion. The scale of her immortal wealth is terrifyingly vast. Her estate owns the land beneath some of the most expensive real estate in the Pacific. The mega resorts of Waikiki, the sprawling commercial centers of Honolulu, and massive tracts of agricultural land on the Big Island. They all pay rent to the legacy of Princess Pauahi. Every time a tourist buys a luxury watch in Waikiki or a billionaire stays in a beachfront suite, a portion of that money flows back into the princess's trust. Modern billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Mark Benioff may buy thousands of acres, but they are merely temporary visitors playing in Pauahi's kingdom. She achieved the ultimate billionaire endgame: immortality through legal architecture. She ensured that her wealth would permanently dominate the Hawaiian economy, outlasting governments, world wars, and economic crashes. Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop is the eternal landlord of Hawaii, the ultimate matriarch, and the undisputed, forever reigning richest woman in the Pacific. Her wealth doesn't just sit in a bank. It breathes through the education of thousands of students and the ownership of the very ground upon which the state is built. In Hawaii, wealth isn't just about what you can buy in the present, it's about what you can preserve for the future. Which of these staggering fortunes fascinated you the most? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe to her status for more global wealth investigations.